a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. In every situation, there's a blessing somewhere. Come gather, brothers and sisters, and we'll see that it is there. Ooh, I need you, and you need me. Yes, you do. And that's how our happiness is guaranteed. Take it, boys.
And now, in all your doings, be you blessed. Through you is ushered in a world unseen, unheard, yet truly there. Holy are you, and in your light, the world reflects your holiness. For you are not alone and friendless. I give thanks for you and join your efforts on behalf of God, knowing that they are on my behalf as well, and for all those who walk to God with us.
Sing it with me. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things is assured.
Up to God with us.
I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things, yeah, is assured.
Wee doggy!
Got your wee doggies in there. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
I know, it's that time of year. Mothering. No, none of us got here without one.
Thank you.
You know.
That's very true, right? Oh, yes, we honor all of you, and we're so grateful. And it was wonderful this morning. We were speaking about motherhood too, like how it can be also a greater thing. And I see in our own lives where we've been, that type of loving energy to younger generations. So
coaching is a kind of
loving.
motherhood. Wouldn't you say coaching is kind of like a mothering thing?
Yeah,
Mothering, fathering.
sometimes it is.
Originating, mentoring.
Yeah, but we don't have any birth kids of our own, but we sure do love the kids. We really do.
I know. We have lots of people we have lots of photos with the young children, and people go, "Is that your kids?
Yeah,
is that one of your?" Invariably, if you're of a certain age and you get your picture taken with us, people will think that we're your mom and dad.
Yeah, I do so much work with children, reading in libraries and things. So, Rona, thanks for joining us in the room.
Look at it.
Thank you very much. Yay! And thanks to everybody on the radio. And
okay, and if you didn't get the memo, the colors today are green and leaf.
all good.
Yeah, I don't know. But even our scan is green and white today.
Oh, it is.
So, Awakening Together. Please donate. Scan is green and white. Did get the memo, however.
But the reason why we're doing that is because, thank you, Rona. Yes, I was just going to say.
I know, there it is.
Because it's Glen's birthday.
Yay! It happens.
And
it happens.
His favorite color is green, so we're all greened up. I have green eyeshadow on. I don't know if you can tell.
Remember green eyeshadow from the 80s? You have to maybe look in the back of that the purse that's underneath in the bottom drawer for that green eyeshadow.
That's where it was.
Remember green eyeshadow?
Look, Arizona's joined us.
Yeah,
in the room.
there we go.
Hey, Arizona.
I know.
Yeah, we're so glad. So we want to tell you something fun before we continue. So yesterday we actually had Glen's birthday party.
Oh, this is true. Oh.
And guess who came? Our lovely dear friend Marisol. She came from New Jersey.
I know we're that close. We're that close. Come to find out, we're that close.
Yes.
It was really sweet.
It was so
greatest
cool.
birthday present ever, right? You know, suddenly somebody is like that you've only ever seen from here to here.
Yeah.
They exist from here down.
Yeah. The whole thing.
The whole person was there. The entire person.
It was wonderful. It was so wonderful. It's always so great to meet, you know, friends in the sanctuary in real time, because, you know, you already know each other. You know, we already know each other. Mm-hmm. So looking forward to meeting every single one of y'all at some point. But I just wanted to share that with you because it was a lot of fun.
And presence is real. I mean, there's really a presence. So what's our sing-along today?
Well, by your request.
Aww.
We're going back to the classics.
I know, so you know this one. It's one of my favorite ones. This is the song that started it all.
It is. So
kind of.
It's a call and response. I'll call and Glen will respond, and you can sing along with Glen. So here we go. Let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change.
'Cause you can't change God.
Let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me.
We'll live in peace.
We'll live in peace.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know
what anything is for.
What anything is for.
Unless I listen to.
Unless I listen to.
That still small voice.
I have a still small voice.
Telling me.
It's telling me.
This simple truth.
This simple truth.
That everything. Is for my
is
good.
for my good.
So let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change
And you can't change God.
Let things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me.
We'll live in peace.
We'll live in peace.
I'm not this body.
I'm not this body
that you see.
that you see.
I am as God.
I am as God
created me.
She created me.
We are all.
And we are all
one family.
I love us.
And it's possible.
Yes, it's possible
to
live in peace, right?
So
bring it
let
home.
things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
Can't
You
change
ready?
God.
And you can't change God.
Can't things be.
I let things be.
Exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace. Kumbaya. Thank you for singing along.
Oh, we like to have fun, as you can
Miss
tell.
Judy will be by with graham crackers and punch a little later.
That's your favorite thing. I know. Oh, it's so nice to have
really is.
everybody here.
It
Thanks for saying happy birthday in the chat and stuff. Yay! Well, we have a lot to share today.
I know we do. If you follow along in, we're like Course in Miracles people. We go through Course in Miracles every year. Do you know what your birthday lesson is? I mean, that's one of the things that some people in Course in Miracles do. They have like a birthday lesson, right? So you find out what the lesson is on your birthday, and that's your birthday lesson. Well,
what is yours?
It changes because like 28 and 29, right? Some years it's the 28, some years you get a 28, and some years you get a 29. So you really have like two lessons, but they're back to back, so it's kind of usually on the same theme. So it still kind of works out. My birthday lessons is let me perceive forgiveness as it is.
As it is.
Right?
Which I think is the...
And which is why I wanted to see let things be exactly as they are, because that's forgiveness, right? If you can let things be exactly as they are, you're able to work with what they are, and therefore the results and the experience is something that is satisfying because it's present and it's here and it's real. So that's what we're going for. Satisfying appearances, but it starts a little bit. It is a couple of days ago. She gets on this term it is impossible to see two worlds, and that's basically the theme we're going to end up today. Because if you follow A Course in Miracles, you generally be reading about 12.8 pages a week and following along in the text and doing the lessons every day. And what you'll find yourself on is in chapter 13, the guiltless world. Now, the guiltless world is about the past, because one of the major things that we've got to do when we grow up, get mature, or what it presents itself on the spiritual path, we might say, is we must begin to understand what the past is, what our relationship to the past is going to be. Hey, Connie! Hey! What the past situations be, because it is our thinking, it is the narrative in our head that we most identify and call us, or Glen, right? It's the narrative, it's the story. We can say, I know it's Glen because I can look at my CV, I can look at my face and it looks like my dad, and I can look at my history and I have I can say this is me, right? I can point to, I exist because of this body and this body of knowledge and this thing of experiences. Well, the Course in Miracles puts that in the idea of the guiltless world. Can you live without a past?
Huh. Wow, that's interesting.
She's asking you to live without a past, and what would it mean to live with? Of course, it would mean you be in the moment, making decisions about what we're actually here, and not trying to fix anything in the past or make anything happen in the future. It's really good advice, but you can't really be here in the past if you can't really be here in the present if you still got things in the past that you need to fix. Can you? Now you're busy. Now I'm really busy. I got things to fix. There are people that don't like me that should like me. You know? Or they must be destroyed, right? If they don't, if the prospect of them actually liking me isn't one I think that's going to be fulfilled, the other project is that they must be destroyed. It's the equally ridiculous project of trying to manage, making sure that the world is safe for you, you know, because you're the only one that's out here making it safe for you, right? Well, here's a secret. You're also the only one making it dangerous. You know? Because it's my thinking. See, that's why she wants to talk to you about the past. Because we're making all these decisions and making all this, creating of this world and this scary narrative because of the way that we have constructed an identity and called it reality. When all it is a story about what happened to you. And it's probably not even what happened. Right?
Well,
probably.
Interesting.
Not even, like somebody else was there. They'd be going, no, that's not how I'm sorry, sweetie, that's not exactly how it happened, you know, because I know that my mother, the famous story I tell is I was like, I couldn't go to the high school that my boyfriend went to because you wouldn't let me. And she goes, you mean college? In college. Couldn't go to my college, applied to the college to follow my boyfriend to the college, and you didn't let me go, Mom. And my mother said, of course we did. We helped you fill out the application, but you didn't get in. You didn't get in. You didn't remember that part. You didn't remember the part about you not get in? So I'm literally telling this story. It's not even reacting and creating this narrative of, what happened to Glen? Oh my God, what happened to this? Oh, you should do this, something should be done.
Stories.
This should, because of that, there should be consequences, or something. I don't know. Do you see what I mean? It's the past. It's the whole It's the completely the past. Absolutely the past. So
according to Connie's column A and column B, which one do you think you were in?
Yeah, which one? Which? So, so because it's impossible to see two worlds.
Right.
No one can fail that seeks to reach the truth, and so that's what we want. That's going to be satisfying, right? You want to be around people that help you and support you in the truth. That's the project, right? You want to be the presence of truth, and what George was talking about this morning.
Beautiful homily,
Being
George.
the presence of the awakening atmosphere. Making the conditions that are available. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. That's an intent. That's an attitude, right?
These are the workbook lessons, by the way, from this week. So now we're moving on to lesson 132.
I lose the world from all I thought it was, right? Because if that's talking about the past if I am not influenced by past learning, I might be able to be teachable to learn something new.
And the very first line in this lesson, what keeps the world in chains but your beliefs?
Our thinking, right?
And what can save the world except yourself? Yeah.
Who chained it up in the first place?
Belief is powerful indeed. The thoughts you hold are mighty, and illusions are as strong in their effects as is the truth. Yay.
And that's a statement about how powerful. And so there's responsibility. Did you feel the responsibility there? Did you feel the responsibility of looking at choosing well and looking for what is real?
Beautiful.
33.
I love this. I love this lesson. Lesson 133.
This whole
I will
series.
not value what is valueless. I will not value what is valueless. I just
That
love
comes from self-knowledge. What are we really pursuing are we really pursuing our values? And that can be really humbling when you wake up and you're not. Because I've ended I don't want to say I've ended relationships because I realized I was in them for all the wrong reasons. It's like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm not in integrity. So this person, I'm doing this for gain. Well, it didn't feel good once I realized it. But I was doing it until I was unconscious. I was unconscious until I was conscious about doing it, and then it was like I can't do it anymore. So being on to yourself about your intent, about why you do anything. We've talked a lot about that too. Why are we doing any of this?
Lesson 134.
Yeah,
today. Is that today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me perceive forgiveness as it is.
So
That's right.
You're forgiving what isn't there.
Yeah.
Right? So again, it's about the past. Understanding our relationships.
Tomorrow is a cornerstone in my world. This lesson. If I defend myself, I am attacked.
That's tomorrow. That's the tar baby.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're in it. Now you have to fit. Now you're involved in the paradigm, and now there's no escape. Now we have to fix it. Now we're in it. Oh man. Now you have to get out of it. You know what that is? Forgiving yourself for like chasing the squirrel again, and then just drop it and move on. The Buddha say, don't pull the other arrow. Don't beat yourself up for beating yourself up. For beating yourself up for beating yourself up for beating yourself up. I mean, at some point you're going to say, geez, how many arms do I need in order to be a good person? How bad do I need to feel in order to feel like I've done enough? See, then we stumble upon our own transactional spirituality. And that's a request for suffering. So again, this idea of the past matters. If I can atone for the past by suffering now, I'll be okay in the future. That's not how suffering and all of it works. It's just not. But there is a lot of support for that in the culture. And so getting a hold of how we operate even in our languaging and the way we deal with others, will really free up a lot of energy in our own space about ways in which we're subtly holding on to paradigms that don't work for us.
Right. Right.
And it's not that they ever worked, but the more we let go, the more energy we have to be
That's
present,
true.
to make better decisions, so we can see more clearly, so that our lives are more in the flow and everything's easier for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone in our presence. Don't you wish everybody was interested in making it easy to be around? Everybody like work to be easy to be around. I want to send people to be easy to be around school. There's just some people I would like to send to, you need to go to your easier to be around school. You know?
There's that as
You
well.
know? I'm sure people have wanted to give me an please be easier to get around card as well.
Okay.
You know?
Some of us know all about that one.
And we're not peaceful because we're not present. Because the Course in Miracles says over and over and over again, if you could see clearly, you wouldn't be afraid. So if you're afraid, it means that we're not seeing clearly, and so if you have something to do to make yourself safe, again, click, 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 I'm not seeing correctly. So the ways in which we stumble upon that and we catch ourselves is the whole chapter on the past. So we're going to talk about that today after the meditation.
Cool. How interesting. So, yeah, if you want to move over to that so we can, if they want to, go back to the other. So, if by chance you want to, we can show you where it is, but we're going to be reading, he's going to be teaching from
Chapter 13.
Chapter 13, The Guiltless World.
The section entitled
The Fear of Redemption. And this is a really amazing lesson. It's very direct and has, could be a little bit challenging, but that's always good, to have a look at those pockets where you're stuck. And I found this very liberating. So
I know we went over on Wednesday. We were talking about this so much.
Wow, this is so we have our Wednesday night classes where we study this in depth each week. So if you want any information about that, just email me, Yolanda@yolanda.net. But
happy to include you.
Yeah, but before we get into the text today, let's do a little bell ringing and breathing and
Ritual.
co-creating, yeah.
Ritual.
And then I'm going to share, after the Circle of Love meditation, I'm going to share a song called Your Eyes. I thought about it this morning when I believe George mentioned the phrase, your eyes are the windows to your soul.
Reading.
From the reading. Oh, it was from the reading. Yeah, from Gina's reading. Your eyes are the windows to the soul. Well, I say windows. I think sometimes people say mirror of your soul. And it was profound for me because I was, again, just something popped in that was like, oh, yeah, when we talk about soul, I've always thought about it as individual, but then he mentioned, wow, no, really, it's the evidence of our oneness, We all share the same soul. That made me feel so good. So I just love that. So here we go. I'm going to ring the bell 3 times, breathe 3 times, the last breath out on an Om. Here we go. Right here, right now, in this present moment, here in this Awakening Together sanctuary, and on the radio, And on YouTube, while you're watching this, those that may be, we are co-creating right here in this moment together this unconditional circle of love, which includes everything that we like and everything that we do not like. I am so blessed to know that I have a community and a family and friends to travel together in this journey of unfolding this sacred mystery that we are, that just keeps unfolding. And it's such a blessing to know that when I look into your eyes, I see your soul and also mine, because we are one. Blessed be, and so it is.
I wish you could see what I see in you when I look into your eyes. Om tare tu re swaha. Om tare tu re swaha. Om tare tu re swaha. Om. I wish that I could rescue you. Please tell me what drove you to the ledge. What happened that shattered your dreams, triggered the pain that now plagues you? I wish that I could convince you that you don't deserve to suffer. I see the power in your eyes. They're the windows to your soul. Your eyes are the windows to your soul. Do you see the footprints in the sand? I'll carry you and your wounds. Your healing is something we'll do together. I'm sticking with you. I want you to know how holy you are, how possible you are, how beautiful. I can see it in your eyes. They're the windows to your soul. Your eyes, they're the windows to your soul. Your eyes, they're the windows to your soul. Your eyes, they're the windows to your soul. I wish you could see what I see in you when I look into your eyes.
I wanted a Tara meditation. Did you get the Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Swaha? Om Tare Tu Tare. The legend is what about Mother's Day? Is that she's one of the traditional ancient mother goddesses. She's often tied Tara.
Yeah.
She's often tied in with Kuan Yin, but she's the one that you don't need to be a devotee for, and she answers everybody from all religions. All you have to do is chant, and she comes to the rescue. She comes to help wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever your tradition is. If you say Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Tre Soha, it evokes her, and she's there to help you with whatever you need. That's mother, right? When you call, when you're screaming bloody murder and you don't know why you hurt or whatever. When you're a kid, you just like going, "I'm uncomfortable," right? When you're a little baby, and your mother's to come in and going, "What does she want? What is happening here? What does she want?" Begins to check you all the limbs and things like that. Turns you over. That's what Tara is doing. Comes and inspects you. What's going on? Everything okay? What has to happen here? That's Tara.
Aww,
So the image I wanted to put in this is we're going to talk about the guiltless world. We're going to talk about the fear of redemption, and this fear of redemption is of taking on your full place in the world. How she's going to talk about this as your grandeur. Okay, so the image I want to give you to think about your grandeur. When you think about your grandeur, what would it be? Would it be you dressed to the nines? It may be prom night. What was your wedding night? You at the UN receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. What would be the grandeur? What would be you in all of your grandeur? The Met Gala? I don't know. What would it be? This is kind of what it would be. That's a fun thing to think about, isn't it? Well, this would kind of be the fun thing for me. This is what I.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's. Yeah. That's the image I have of like a light body, almost like a. What do you see? It's almost like a superhero. I look at that now. I think, like Marvel's The Flame or something like that. Like what? Like as yourself as yourself. Mine would probably be green, and there'd be flowers or leaves or something. I don't know. It's just it's fun to think about. So, chapter 13, the guiltless world, is talking about how we deal with the past in order to awaken. What the past has to do, and how important looking and understanding what the past is and what it's for is important on our awakening journey. And it's so funny that the past is chapter 13.
Oh, it is. That is funny.
It's funny. So it's 12 paragraphs. But we got. We're
gonna underline.
We got some good time.
Pick parts out of the paragraphs.
So read this bit.
I do want to give a
a
caveat here because she's diving right into encouraging you to look at your own fears, and she calls it hatred. What's the dark places inside yourself. So that's the way she starts.
So she's going to start out with some strong language, but that's why I wanted to give you a preference. Think about this in relationship to the past, and you'll have a place to put it in your head when she's talking about this.
Yeah.
So read this bit.
Okay. So it starts like this. You may wonder why it is so crucial that you look upon your hatred and realize its full extent.
That's the first sentence.
Right. We have said that no one will countenance fear if he recognizes it. Yet, in your disordered state of mind, you are not afraid of fear, you do not like it, but it is not your desire to attack that really frightens you. You are not seriously disturbed by your hostility. Under the ego's dark foundation is the memory of God. And it is of this that you are really afraid. Your fear of attack is nothing compared to your fear of love. You would be willing to look even upon your savage wish to kill God's Son if you did not believe that it saves you from love. For this wish caused the separation, and you have protected it because you do not want the separation healed. Your intense and burning love of God, that's part of.
Yeah.
For still deeper than the ego's foundation and much stronger than it will ever be is your intense and burning love of God and His for you. This is what you really want to hide.
Almost.
In honesty, is it not harder for you to say I love than I hate? You associate love with weakness and hatred with strength, and your own real power seems to you as your real weakness.
All of these ideas are one thing. That's why we're reading them together. So last bit here.
You have built your whole insane belief system because you think you would be helpless in God's presence, and you would save yourself from His love because you think it would crush you into nothingness. You believe that magnitude lies in defiance, and that attack is grandeur. Therefore, you have used the world to cover your love, and the deeper you go into the blackness of the ego's foundation, the closer you come to the love that is hidden there. And it is this that frightens you.
Okay, now take a big breath, because we're going to sum up everything that just got said. We're gonna say it all again. She's gonna say it. We're gonna have her read this last paragraph. Remember, this is the past. We're talking about a fear of redemption. You may wonder why it is so crucial. This is the point. Why it is so crucial that you need to look upon your own hatred and realize its full extent. So we haven't looked at the damage our own misperception or misunderstanding is and how we construct it. Okay? So she wants us to understand how we construct this hatred and what use we have. What use we think it is for. We think it's useful because it does something for us, right? It keeps us away from having to feel so good. The grandeur she's talking about. And so because we're not disturbed by our hostility, we call our love our weakness. We call our so we can't see even what's strong. We have what's strong, what's weak, we even get those things messed up. So with that idea, with that kind of understanding and framing, read these like 4 or 5 sentences. This is a summation of what she's talking about, and I'm going to go over and break this down a little bit more.
Right. It reminds me, before I read this paragraph, it reminds me of Marianne Williamson's speech, that says, you're not afraid of your light,
Oh, yeah.
you're afraid of
You're
not
not
afraid of darkness, you're afraid of your light and your power. So she puts it this way: you can accept insanity because you made it, but you cannot accept love because you did not. That's interesting, isn't it? You can accept insanity because you made it, but you cannot accept love because you did not. You would rather be a slave of the crucifixion than a son of God in redemption.
Oh.
Your individual death seems more valuable than your living oneness. For what is given you is not so dear as what you made. You are more afraid of God than of the ego, and love cannot enter where it is not welcome. But hatred can, for it enters of its own volition and cares not for yours.
The thought system.
Right.
So this is fun, because this is what this you cannot see two worlds, right? Remember that? You cannot see two worlds.
Right.
In this characterization in this section of the Course in Miracles, she's talking about what the past does is it creates two worlds.
Right.
And she calls these two worlds the slaves of the dark foundation, which is the ego, right? And the thought system. Isn't that interesting? Slaves of the dark foundation. Slaves of the dark foundation. Instead of the sons in redemption. The children in redemption. And so that's the, what world are you building? What world are we participating in? I assure you the sons in redemption are not in the past. They're right here with us, right? Because they're being redeemed. It's an action.
It's us together right here,
it's us
right
together
now.
right here. So she makes an interesting request, one that's kind of counterintuitive. She goes, "Please don't be afraid of your hate. Don't get too wild about. Don't be afraid of any of your upsets. Don't be afraid to lose your mind, right? To not understand, right? Do not be afraid of discovering your own hate or any upset. She asks you not to tolerate these fear thoughts, to examine them really as much as you possibly can, as much as we possibly can, which is what community is for, right? We just came through a couple of chapters of meeting your mighty companions and meeting your body, and like your body is going to be one of your closest companions, and she's building on that notion today because you're going to feel a certain way. Hatred is going to make you feel a certain way. Don't be afraid to look on these feelings we have of fear and hatred and disgust or whatever it is that's happening, whatever the upset is. It's never going to be bigger than us. And that's what a really good community is for. That's what awakening together, because I can lose my mind and I'm going to be okay because I'm surrounded by people that I love. So the reminder here is to don't fear to look within. The fear of looking within keeps our trauma in place. It keeps it unexamined and us acting on it unconsciously. Right. And our friends would like really say, we still haven't gotten over that thing, right? She's just, that's just the way she does things, so she hasn't gotten over that thing. We have used the world to cover love. We've used our trauma, our hatred, our misunderstanding, and our confusion in the world to cover our love for ourselves and each other and our relationships and our joy of being here. And we built this thought system to keep us safer and separate from each other. It's hiding the love that we have for each other. It's hiding this desire for joining, this natural state of belonging and togetherness that's already here, that we already could be experiencing, that Course in Miracles just calls correct perception. So we are either going to be members of the slaves of the dark foundation or the sons in redemption.
Wow.
So that's half of what she wants us to understand. We're 6 of these 12 paragraphs in, and she says it's really togetherness and being who you are, being your authentic, full of light, grandeur, light self that you're afraid of.
Wow.
Why? Because we didn't grow up in a place, a lot of us didn't grow up in a world that says, that really meant it when they said, be all that you can be. What they meant was, don't scare me and be what I want to be, so I understand you. Right? And realize that all of us were raised by parents who were trying to fix the way they were raised.
Interesting.
So don't fear to look within, because that's where we hide the trauma. And be the space that others can explore their trauma with. Don't make other people, it's an interesting, don't make other people's trauma a big thing, a big deal, because it's not. Anybody and all of it is healing. There are no levels, remember. You can heal, anybody can heal. There aren't any levels. We're only one decision away from peace. We've used the world and our thinking and our hate and our collusion and us and them and competition and all this other stuff to cover our love for each other, to cover our love for the world, to cover our love for ourselves, to cover our light and our authenticity and our beautiful, big, bright, shining, loving, joyous nature. That's dangerous, right? Well, it certainly feels dangerous to walk around the world that way, doesn't it? We know what she says. You find it easier to say, we don't the weakness and strength and
Yeah.
everything like that. So
I remember the
we
quote.
know that. So let's keep going. This is
Well, I remember the quote is, your greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure, you know? And that really speaks to this, I think.
So keep going.
Yeah, but first I want to say hi to George. Hi, George.
Wonderful homily today. We're still talking about you.
Your homily
I
this
know if your
morning.
ears were burning.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so the next part is, you must look upon your illusions and not keep them hidden, because they do not rest on their own foundation. For beneath them is the loving mind that thought it made them in anger. And the pain in this mind is so apparent when it is uncovered that its need of healing cannot be denied. Here is the real crucifixion of God's Son in your mind,
We do it
right?
ourselves.
Yeah. And yet he is not crucified. Here is both his pain and his healing, for the Holy Spirit's vision is merciful and his remedy is quick. Do not hide suffering from his sight, but bring it gladly to him. Lay before his eternal sanity all your hurt, and let him heal you. Do not leave any spot of pain hidden from his light.
So you have to know what your pain is, doesn't you? You have to be able to say, this is where I hurt, this is what's going on. You kind of have to be able to say, I feel guilty, I feel mad, I feel murderous, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's self-awareness. It's like, I'm not afraid of my own mind. This is the pain that covers our loving mind. The pain of unhealed trauma covers our loving mind. And unhealed trauma is in the past. It's in the past because we kept it there, because it's useful to have that trauma so we aren't our love and light selves. Because it's too dangerous to be our love and light selves, according to the story we have, because we have this trauma that proves it. Do you see the circular logic there? The request is to examine the foundation and the beliefs of these feelings. You will quickly find out that they are circular and they don't have any foundation. Your friends will tell you that. Your friends will tell you that you're pretty. Your friends will tell you that you're smart. Your friends will tell you that you can do this. Your friends will tell you that I'll help you if I can, right? Or I'll help you when you fall, or whatever. I'm not going anywhere. That's what you want. I want to be able to learn and grow and fail and succeed and be able to share, be able to lessen my failures and be able to share my successes. Is that any different than anybody else? I want to bring everybody along, and I don't want to hurt so bad if I fail, or hurt many people if I fail. Right? I want my mistakes to be minimal and my successes to be maximal. But that means I have to want it for us. Maximal means I have to want it for us. Minimal, when I fail, it means I didn't include everybody. And that's what she's going to talk about. We've talked about it. He goes, if I exclude anybody, what do we do? And we're not going, oneness for everybody but thee. You know? Oneness for me, but not for thee. Why? You know, because it's the way you look, you know, obviously. You know? I just really don't enjoy this aesthetics that you're putting out here, you know, or whatever it is. It always comes down to that, because I have a past association with how things should be, and this is how I've created meaning, and it should be this way and look this way, so I feel safe. Otherwise, I'm going to have to change things, and if they don't change quick enough, I get mad and God is slipping on her duties, because I pray regularly and she owes me.
Oh,
right?
That's a whole paradigm set up right there.
You know, transactional spirituality.
Yeah,
I'm doing all the right
transactional.
things. I better get what I want. Anybody know about transactional spirituality? You know,
Wow.
can you get mad at God when she didn't pull through?
You just
know?
called it out.
Everybody get, you know? And can we own how silly that is?
Yeah.
And it's like, but we're still doing it. The world really is like. I grew up with the phrase "God will get you for that." Did you? Anybody else grow up with hearing like "God will get you for that"?
Oh, right. Ooh,
Right.
I hadn't thought of that in ages.
And that's way
Wow.
back there. That's
Yeah.
that's like way back. That's the past of the trauma that she's saying you don't know that still runs your life. That if you were willing to look upon that and you weren't afraid of like saying, "Yeah, I used to have fun plotting a murders. I don't know what happened to me," you know. in high school, it's like, no, if you can be on to yourself, you won't make that mistake again. And this unconscious programming won't be running in the background. You're like going, why is this happening? Keep happening to me. Yeah. That's all she's saying to do. If you knew what your brain was doing, that's how powerful it is. If you knew the programming that you make unconscious decisions on is based on the erroneous information that you got from the past, from unhealed trauma, you would be looking at every decision going, am I making this decision or am I trying to fix the past in some way?
Oh, interesting. Ooh, that's a good point.
Because I'll bet until I got to like a kind of a flow and like Regina says, ask what to do in all things. Get this attitude that I'm not the one doing, I'm the one taking orders. I take the second place to gain the first. Is what the way the Course in Miracles says. Yeah. She says the way to get there is often as human beings is we reinforce the past for each other, and we hold this past in a solid form, and we hold back our own awakening and the awakening of others by making a solid past about the way things have got to be. They've always been done this way, they'll always be done this way, that this is the way it's always done. So to be aware of that, the way we enforce our own beliefs, our own past on other people, and the way we realize that we don't like other people's past to be forced on us. You know, that the way it's got to be. So realize that. So read this next. Whoa.
I am.
About done here. Okay.
I am, but I want to say hi to Rhoda, because Rhoda just came in. Hi, Rhoda.
Yay.
I know you're off camera, but
okay.
So glad to see you.
Read this last 10, 11, 12, okay?
Okie doke. Okay, here we go. Let's see. You who prefer separation to sanity cannot obtain it in your right mind. You were at peace until you asked for a special favor, and God did not give it.
Right.
Therefore, you made of him an unloving father.
That's what we were talking about, getting mad at God.
Getting mad at God, so we have to forgive God. In peace, he needed nothing and asked for nothing. In war, he demanded everything and found nothing. If the Son did not wish to remain in peace, he could not remain at all. For a darkened mind cannot live in the light, and it must seek a place of darkness. To single out is to make alone, and thus make lonely. God did not do this to you.
I love that line.
He denied you only your request for pain. For his answer is the reference point beyond delusions, from which you can look back on them and see them as insane. But seek this place and you will find it, for love is in you and will lead you there.
Yeah, she goes, the attitude is to see correctly. One of the things that was pointed out to me really early when I was coming along was somebody pointed out very clearly that like a 5-year-old thinks differently than a 9-year-old, and a 9-year-old thinks differently than a 15-year-old, and so on and so forth. It's a little bit of that, like waking up. You just can't see until you see, and there isn't any way of telling a 9-year-old that it's going to be okay, because what they're worrying about is going to be solved when they're 13. You know, and conceptually you cannot say, don't worry about anything. Don't worry about any of this. You're on the right path.
It's hard to hear
That's
sometimes.
what community is about. Having all of this available to see, so we know there aren't levels. So we can watch people go through the process. I can watch you lose your mind and get better. You can watch me lose my mind and get better. We can watch each other mature and grow and change, and say, oh, I'm just changing again, or oh, she's changing again, instead of, my gosh, you know, who's having, you know, who's not doing it right, or who's having an upset this week, or who's not being so spiritual, right? You know, monitoring bodies through space for who's aesthetically performing spirituality correctly. You know, we can get into that trip kind of as well. So what kind of community are we going to develop and be a part of? One that creates and allows that space of being angry and examining what's really, really, really hard, because that's how communities don't heal. They're unable to look at what is really difficult to look at. This community doesn't really have that problem.
I know.
You know?
That's amazing.
But the other communities that we are in do. And they don't need to be fixed. We need to know how we're participating. She's talking about, look, examine your own mind for hate. She didn't say go look at everybody. Go look for find hate in your friends and things like that and try to root it out. That's not what she said. She says, you're mad and you're mad that you're not getting the world the way that you wanted to, and I didn't do this to you. Is what she said. Your friends didn't either. So where are we? This is what I wrote. One of the main tenets of our thought system is to run away from our fears and to project them onto the world. When we examine the foundations of our fears, it's like a light goes on in our world. We come out of our dark-minded illusion of ourselves and the world. Our feelings no longer frighten us. In fact, we can look even at our own trauma because we know the experience of our own grandeur. Wow. Our presence of healing, strength, and fierce authenticity is how we appreciate our divinity and encourage and appreciate the grandeur and divinity of others. How about that for a relationship?
Yeah.
To be able to know my own grandeur and to be walking around amongst the grandeur of fellow beings. And that be like normal. That's the experience of the being in the presence of the joy, the presence of God. I want to be in the presence of God, which is why I hang out with you. You know? Because that's how I feel when I'm with you. I feel like the presence of God when I'm with you. So, I'm your favorite anarchist preacher, I hope. This is the
You're so funny.
This is the love of my life, the Reverend Yolanda.
So
Road is shaking.
driving.
Road is driving. Sorry, stay on the road, darling. But
so cute.
and thank you for accepting the invitation to my birthday party. So, we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
59. This is what 59 looks like, and we're so glad that you're here to witness this. Yeah.
Thanks everybody, and hi to the retreat house.
Truly.
Look, I think that's Ann.
Oh my gosh.
Woo! I know.
All right.
Hugs.
I know. Big hugs.
Oh gosh, it's so wonderful to be with you today. I'll sing us out just a little ditty. I don't know what's going to happen. Here comes Jacqueline.
That was Cindy.
Oh, that was Cindy. We're gonna have a wonderful evening at Awakening together. So stay tuned.
And all the programming will be done in falsettos for the here on out.
I just want to remind people to come back if you can for Sounds of Awakening at 8 p.m. or 6 p.m. Mountain Time.
Shanda Rule.
And I want to share with you Shanda, my love for Reverend Shanda Rule. So we'll see you, and we'll be here
let it go
all night. Okay, letting go of the mic.